Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful day it is. I want to start by expressing what an honor it has been to serve this inestimable community for the past year, and how grateful I am to be able to complete that service by being placed so late in the running order so as to interpose myself between you and that well-deserved garden party. When I was given the brief to articulate this student experience to you, I confess that I, for a moment, was quite daunted. How on earth could I do justice to the richness and depth and nuance of the business school life? How do I encompass the spectrum of student perspectives from 70-plus nationalities with several millennia worth of experience between them? I pondered this for a while, and what I realized was that it's a fool's errand to try and encompass the totality of the London Business School student experience. So, instead, like any good business student, I've summarized all of the complexity inherent in the topic down to 3 simple words. So how would I describe the student experience? It is exciting, it's challenging, and it is also transformative. 3 words not enough for you? Okay. Well, let me tell you a few stories then. How's this for exciting? In February this year, I was selected alongside 15 of my LBS classmates to be flown to the World Government Summit in Dubai, where our hosts lavished us with comforts. We risked life and limb on desert dune buggies. We were addressed by Christine Lagarde and Elon Musk, and we challenged other graduate schools in a case competition about the future of government. In my time at LBS, I've also been flown to Miami, Berlin, Singapore. I've played sports that I love on French fields against top business school competitors. I've led teams, created conferences, and attended many more. I've been able to see 2 of my personal heroes, Paul Pullman and Muhammad Yunus, speak in person. And above all, I've been taught by some of the world's greatest business thinkers every week for the past 2 years. And all of this, families and friends, is not something reserved specially to me. This is just the typical London Business School experience. Students in the graduating class of 2017, across all programs, have led 87 student clubs, created over 1,214 different events. Our students have won case competitions and stock picking competitions and impact investing competitions. We've drawn 340 speakers to 21 conferences and whisked each other off on 40 treks to places like Georgia, Peru, Japan, each a unique opportunity to explore new cultures through the eyes of the classmates who call these destinations home. We do not live a typical lifestyle at LBS by any means. We just have so much choice. Choice is actually something we business school students have an overabundance of. But here's the thing, graduating students, for many of us, the power of all this choice has become normalized. So please don't forget that what we have is special, something that few people in the world are privileged enough to understand, let alone experience. Now, whilst I've enjoyed these incredible highs, my experience at London Business School, in the best way possible, has also challenged me and brought me low too. I'll never forget my second term at LBS. It was winter in London, so it was desolate. Classwork had moved into unfamiliar territory for most people. Language classes were in full flow. It was also the crunch time for corporate partner recruiting, with the major banks and the consulting firms arriving on campus in force. All of that exciting club, competition, and travel activity was also still knocking at our doors, demanding attention. And whilst all this was going on, I found myself a dream work opportunity, committed to it, and started working 2 full days on top of that already packed business school schedule. Now, I'm not telling you this all to boast, but because actually that was a mistake. Peel back the facade of all those wonderful choices at my disposal, and you'll find that the honest thing about that term for me was that I was chasing everything. I wanted it all, but in reality, I was dropping balls, scraping through deadlines, taking LBS calls at work, and constantly feeling like I was letting my teams and my classmates down. So for the first time in life, I was starting to regret some choices I'd made. Where I'd slipped up was not just in overcommitting, but being arrogant enough to think that I could handle it all. Like everyone here, I'd been a high performer at work, and I thought that I had achieved a lot professionally. I've since realized that in the workplace, there are natural limiters to how much you can do. Things like your boss demanding 100% attention on their project. But here at LBS, with a veritable fire hose of opportunities on offer, there are no limits, other than perhaps the number of hours and days, to keep all of those experiential desires in check. But you know what? For some people at business school, everything that I've just described juggling is nothing. If we're speaking of challenges, well, I know those of you who have been nurturing new life, that most precious return of all. And whilst you've been a parent, you've left your jobs, your security, moved your lives, and have been simultaneously learning and recruiting and leading like the rest of us. Moreover, some of you have done all this in a second language. How humbling it is for me to be able to stand by your side today as we graduate here. So, last story, transformation. My last story goes right back to the beginning. It was almost 2 years ago now, on our orientation away day. I remember a fuzzy blur of new faces, new names, and so many new nationalities. It was both exhilarating and daunting at the same time to be exposed so suddenly to so many people who had seemed to have already achieved so many impressive things. I was highly conscious of the criticality of this week. First impressions are lasting impressions, as they say. And I knew that these people, my new stream, my new study group, would be people who I would be interacting with for the rest of my life. Bearing in mind, at the time, the me had nearly been dinged by this institution for being shy and non-assertive, I knew I had to make an impact. So there I was, in an unfamiliar field in the British countryside, half filled with confidence and bluster, the other half filled with uncertainty and the need to seem as impressive as all of my classmates. Our task was to construct a water-worthy raft made of wood and rope and plastic barrels and race across a little stream. I recall our team managed to do pretty well, making it across swiftly. But all of a sudden, at the last moment, one of our plastic barrels came loose and floated off to the middle of the stream. And there I took my chance. I flashed into action, deftly maneuvering our listing barge back to the missing piece, securing the errant barrel with a smooth and confident action. Yes, I'd done it. Saved the day. Hearing a small cheer from the rest of my classmates on the bank, I twisted round to grin at my new friends in triumph. And those of you who were there will remember that I then promptly lost my footing, spun off the side of the barge, and landed face first in the water. I felt so stupid, humiliated. First impression, ruined. And in that moment, I still remember thinking, I'm just going to be known as that silly guy who tried too hard at orientation. I bring this memory up because it came back to me 2 days ago, actually. Despite that inauspicious induction to London Business School, 2 days ago, that once uncertain young man found the courage to walk onto a stage, uplifted by the cheers of friends, and proud to commend his classmates for their contribution to this at the Student Awards ceremony. I knew then, 2 days ago, that my fear had been misplaced, and that I wasn't just going to be known as the silly guy who tried too hard, amongst other things. I can tell you today, there is only one word that I can use to describe the 2 years that London Business School has given to me, and it helped me to this realization, and that's transformative. Graduating students, you all have experienced these things for yourself, had your own exciting, challenging, transformative experiences. But I have one more thing to tell you. I never should have worried. I never should have worried because as total strangers offered me their hands to pull me out of that water that day, the strength of our bonds as a community were already evident. And whether it's in the noisy public forum of a student awards stage, or in the quiet struggles of that assignment you just can't crack, It's the inspirational people who, through their support for each other, create this unique experience here at London Business School. I've often been asked about what I've learned here, what my one key takeaway from business school would be. And for me, my key takeaway is the power of commitment. And so, here, today, I'm going to take the first step in a commitment to all of you, my fellow classmates. I commit to be there for you in the way that you've been there for me as a community. In the lifetime ahead, I commit to be available to support you in your endeavors, and even just to make you smile. And I hope that as each of you contemplates your own unique and diverse journey as an LBS student, at some point you can make this commitment too. Because that's what our exciting, challenging, transformative, inspirational student experience has given us as a lasting gift. It's this fine community of London Business School graduates. #WhyILoveLBS. Congratulations, class of 2017. It's been an honor.